Call regular city council meeting Monday, July 27th, 2015, to order. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Puttoff.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Here, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Presentations. We have public comment. What order did they come in?
First, Ronnie Perez.
Okay, Mr. Perez.
Yeah, it's on. You just got to hit the button and turn the light green. One more time. There it is.
I'm here to discuss the lobbying vote that's on the agenda for this evening. This evening's agenda is to renew the contract for the lobbyist, and I think as we stand, it looks as though it's going to be approved. But for the taxpayers' sake, and due to the right thing to do, I think we are asking those who support this renewal to change their mind. I sent an email to Alderman Tom Payton seeking his input on the lobbyist and to see if he supported the motion. If he did, I wanted to know why and what specifically the lobbyist has done over the past 2 years to warrant his support. Tom did respond, stating he supported having the lobbyist in Springfield, offering no explanation but telling me to review the reports. So I did, hoping to find the answer. I won't go through all the reports because most of the same sort of activity exists from Mr. McInerney. August 2013, Mr. McInerney was lobbying IDOT for the bike path that the council had no interest in seeking at that time. August 22nd, Mr. McInerney and the mayor attended representative golf outings. The representative's golf outing, where the mayor was introduced to a mayor and officials and explained that Peru had interest in taking over electricity for a building the city wanted to acquire. I'm assuming that was going to be the King's Inn building. And it would have been a no-brainer for a mayor to approve that. This was something the mayor or department head Jim Puttoff could have handled and not the lobbyist. November 2013, he met with Senator Resin and Representative Martino regarding legislation to provide tax breaks for office max in hopes of them staying. Mayor Harrell could have easily had that conversation with our two representatives, as keeping business here is also their goal. November 2013, Bob Vickery made contact with Mr. McInerney in regards to poor AT&T service in Peru, so the lobbyists looked into that. I do know we still have issues with AT&T to this day. That too could have been handled by the mayor. Some of the other notes that I have, I want to just brief through real quick. This is right from his report. I set up a meeting with Mayor Harrell and Senator McGuire and Joliet to discuss regional issues. I attended on May 5th, I attended Speaker Madigan's fundraiser. May 6th, I met with Senator Link to work on fire and police pension issues. And I feel that the city of Peru is doing a great job at taking care of our unfunded liability. So that's something that the state representatives are handling down in Springfield. On May 7th, I met with Illinois House Democrat leaders, Representative Curry, Martino, and Bradley, on funding issues for Peru. I met with U.S. Senator Durbin's Chief of Staff, Bill Holohan, regarding the possibility of 3 cities joining Peru and utilizing the Army Reserve Building for a regional communication office. That is now null and void, being that we are moving in a different direction with the 911 Center. May 27th, I met with Firefighters Union state lobbyists regarding Senator Link's pension reform bill. They indicated they would not support this compromise legislation. That too is also a state issue, and I believe that Representative Martino and Resin are handling that. I met with Assistant Majority Leader Senator Link and discussed the pension bill. He would work with me and others this summer and try to pass the bill in the veto session. That too is a state issue, where our representatives are managing that. On May 28th, I set up a meeting with Mayor Harrell and Representative Martino. We asked for emergency funding from IDOT for the following issues: the winter damage to Becker Street, 31st Street, Marquette from Shooting Park Road to 26th Street. There's no question that our mayor has complete communication with Representative Martino, and it doesn't take anything for him to make that phone call and do that, where I don't see where it takes a lobbyist to contact Martino to set up a meeting. In the end, I got excuse me, into that same May 28th meeting. In the end, he says, IDOT and legislators only approved money for capital projects that were already approved. Quote, May 20th, 2014, I met with IDOT on our projects, and they told me we would get $43,000. Well, that was nothing that the lobbyists did. That was something that was already approved before then. June 6th, I attended Senate Majority Leader James Claiborne's golf outing in Fairview Heights. On June 11th, I met with legislative staff members of a golf outing in Greenville. June 16th, I attended Representative Brower's golf outing in Springfield. June 18th, I attended Senator McGuire's fundraiser in Joliet. June 24th, I attended Assistant Senate Majority Leader Terry Link's golf outing in Waukegan. July 11th, I attended Representative Hammond's golf outing in Macomb. July 14th, 2014, I attended the funeral of former U.S. Senator Ellen J. Dixon in Belleville, and after had discussions with U.S. Senator Durbin and other elected officials. To me, in my own opinion, I think lobbying at a funeral is July 29, 2014, Mayor Harrell asked me to see if St. Francis Hospital could expedite its construction. I'll just hold it. July 29th, 2014, Mayor Hall asked him to see if St. Francis Hospital could expedite its construction schedule for its new helicopter pad. I feel that making that phone call is something that our mayor could have easily done. August 3rd, 2014, I attended Congresswoman Sherry Bustis fundraiser and discussed legislative issues, including our work with U.S. Senator Durbin regarding the Armory. August 4th, I met with American executives regarding legislative activities. That too is something, anything legislative I feel that our representatives do and take care of. On August 6th, I met with St. Francis Hospital executives on Peru Heliport. August 8th, I met with U.S. Senator Durbin and Congresswoman Sherry Bustis at the funeral of Gene Callahan. That too I don't feel is appropriate. August 11th, I attended State Senator Kaler's golf outing in Peoria. August 13th, I attended Governor Quinn's breakfast in Springfield for Democratic officials. August 19th, I met with Mayor Harrell at Senator Durbin's office in Springfield to discuss the Armory. August 20th, I attended Southwest Illinois Mayor's golf outing in Orland Park. I don't know if Mayor Harrell attended that, but that's something that I think he should have attended. August 22nd, I attended Senator Andy Menard's golf outing in Springfield. And the list goes on. I mean, there's just day after day of golf outings and fundraisers. I mean, it's multiple. December 3rd, 2014, I attended a legislative session, and that's what our elected representatives are doing. December 14th, I had lunch with Congresswoman Sherry Bustis to go over federal and state legislative matters. Again, federal and state legislative matters are handled by state and federal elected officials. Those are just, I mean, that's a pretty huge list, and I didn't read every one of them, but it's all pretty much the same with attending golf outings and events. And I understand that lobbyists do that, but everything that I read and everything that I've seen, he hasn't done anything with the city of Peru to be able to prove that and warrant that we renew his contract. He has, everything that's in there that I've seen, our representatives and Mayor Harrell should be able to do without any problem. So I'm just asking that my two aldermen, Radke and Payton, don't know for this. Thank you.
Okay, do we have another one?
Yes, Mike Hart on the same topic.
Thank you. Mine is also considering the same. Mine, though, is directly from the State Journal Register dated September 25th, 2013. Chatham Board terminates lobbyist contract. The Chatham Board is ending its contract with the village's longtime lobbyist and economic development consultant, Mr. Tim McInerney. The planned term is $24,000 annual contract. He had been with this village for 10 years. Reasons given were they raised questions about the contract in recent weeks because some felt they were not receiving enough information about the work he had done for the village. I'm not comfortable with moving forward with Mr. McInerney as a contractual employee of this village. It also states that he believes that the issue of lack of reporting requirements in the existing contract and the services of Mr. McInerney was not all provided. They said that they should move forward. I feel the same way, that you need to move forward. A lobbyist is one of four people, either a disbarred lawyer, and a politician who has been defeated or retired, or a staff member. And who are they bleeding? In 2007, there was 177 legislators. There were 1,645 lobbyists in the state of Illinois. They go to golf outings. You've been to golf outing? I've been to a lot of them, especially political ones. You see the person that's putting that on once. 5 minutes, comes up and shakes your hand. You're not doing anything there but giving him money towards his campaign. And it's time for you guys to drop him.
Okay, is there any other public comment cards?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second. We have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke to approve the minutes. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. We have a motion to receive the reports, place on file.
So moved, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Payton to receive the reports and place on file. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, I just wanted to point out a couple figures in here. For April, the sales tax of Peru is down slightly, about less than 0.5%. But as year goes through the month of April, the city overall is up 5.4%. So the economy continues to roll. I do believe that it will slow and we'll probably be at the totals that we were last year at that. The other area that I wanted to point out, and I guess this is good for the city, but I'm not so sure it's great from the moral perspective. Video gaming raised, just for the city of Peru, $12,813. It's gone up pretty drastically month after month. And an interesting note that I found was Peru ranked number 11th out of 180 towns in video gaming receipts, and that's towns with that population. So I guess on the side that the city is gaining $12,813 a month out of it, so look to that as, I guess it is a form of entertainment for people, and there are proceeds from the city. I guess that's all we have to look at right now.
Is there any other comments? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Committee reports. Chairman Putoff.
Alderman Radke with disbursements.
Yes, Your Honor. I had disbursements, total disbursements for July 29, 2015 are $2,502,959.56. I move that we receive this report, place it on file, and pay the bills in the usual manner.
I have a motion by Alderman Radke, second by Alderman Payton to receive the disbursements, place on file, and pay the bills in the usual manner. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Payton.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, we have the Peru Police Department monthly report for June 2015. Again, I ask you to pay attention to the back, some of the commendations and that, and I'll make a motion we accept this report and place it on file.
Second.
I have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Radke, receive the Peru Police Department report and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Your Honor, I have the activity report for the month end of June for the volunteer ambulance service. I make a motion that we accept the report and put it on file.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Payton, second by Alderman Ferrari to receive the approved volunteer ambulance report and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Your Honor, I move that we renew a one-year contract with lobbyist Tim McInerney for $2,000 a month.
I'll second that.
I have a motion from Alderman Radke, second by Alderman Lukosius to renew one-year contract with lobbyist Tim McInerney for $2,000 a month. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. I just want to bring up this point. The lobbyist was here before I got here. So what I did this past weekend, and to answer Mr. Perez's question, I spent a good portion of 45 minutes to an hour while I was in Denver visiting my son, visiting with Mr. McInerney, and I basically asked him, why should I rehire you? Tell me why. We went through 4 different projects that are still pending approval that Mr. McInerney brought to the table, got us into the meeting, and got money approved that we would not have gotten. I have dealt with lobbyists in a number of different facets through my career, and I believe right now the way our the way our state of Illinois' economic picture looks right now, it is my recommendation that we stay with Mr. McInerney for at least one more year to let him finish the projects that we have on our plate. So that I just felt that needed to be said. And Mr. Perez, you sat in executive sessions for 4 years, and you sat and listened to the things that he had done. I just want you to know that you knew, and that's the response from my email to you. You sat there and you knew what he brought to the table. Well, I beg to differ, sir. And that is you're right. We'll agree to disagree on this.
I'd also just say that in addition to the conversation with the mayor, I actually reached out to the city staff, so I know the police chief and the city engineer and I had a couple conversations, and they both felt that they got some good use out of the lobbyists. It was a tool that they went to and a tool that they felt was beneficial for them doing their job. So I do think it is our responsibility, if there are resources that are beneficial to the city staff, that we should continue to use those, in addition to Alderman Payton's comments.
I guess I'm one that would vote no for the lobbyists. Just my personal opinion, I haven't seen real tangible results from the lobbyists as of yet, and I'm not naive to think it happens overnight. This is something that takes a long time, so I do understand this. Just from the idea of paying money to somebody to pay money to somebody else to hear your point of view from the city, just doesn't sound the right way to move it. And I know there's more lobbyists than there are legislatures, and money rules politics. I'm not naive to think that, but I just don't like the role a lobbyist plays, and I don't see it as something our city needs at this point.
I also will vote no, because I don't think we utilize our representatives or our senators enough. Instead of paying for somebody, we need to utilize what we have there.
Well, and for the record, I don't think anyone is trying to replace the representation we have. This is in addition to the representation that we have. We have very good representation from both of those individuals.
I'm in favor of rehiring the lobbyist. I feel that we have a $50-some million business running this city, and a lot of that business deals with the state. And therefore, the more we can utilize a person that has the ear of someone that has the ear, the better off we're going to be. Peru needs to be actively seeking new development, and that's one of the ways to do it. If I had a $50-some million business, I certainly would have a lobbyist in Springfield, or a lobbyist wherever that business could have a lobbyist could have influence on my business.
Well, I know that it's put the city of Peru in front of people that you would never be in front of before. You can go to your representative, you can go to your senator, I understand that. But we've been in front of people that you wouldn't be. I was with city engineer Eric Carls, we were in Tim's front room with the assistant secretary to, Illinois Department of Transportation, Rich Brower. That just doesn't happen. You know, he listened to our concerns. He will be in the area probably, what do you say, in August or September? He will be in the area. We sat in front of, he's been repeatedly in front of the new Governor Rauner's budget director, which is Tim Newting. I sat in front of the new budget director. We brought up the pool, the splash pad. We brought up the splash pad. We brought up 911. These are all projects that you need to be in front of people. Our representatives know about it. Our senator knows about it. Yes, they do. But we're one town of roughly, let's say, 70 towns in the Senate district. Let's say 35 in the representatives district. Don't hold me to those numbers. Count the towns. I haven't done it. I'm guessing that's probably about what it is. It's roughly 240,000 people for the Senate district and half of that for the representatives district. The senators and representatives do their job. They do the best they can, but their only job isn't to want to know what's going on with Peru. Like I said, he puts the city of Peru in front of people. It's another form of advertisement. It's a salesman out there. You know, we advertise with MCS, we advertise with the chamber, we advertise with our new economic development. We're ramping up on that. We're talking about a sign out at Starved Rock to advertise to take advantage of the 2 million plus visitors a year out at Starved Rock and have our developperu.com website on the side of the rock. Will it make a difference? Don't know. Will $10,000 break the city? Absolutely not. Is it a good form of advertising? I think it's a great form. We'll see what happens, you know, when we end up voting on it. But it's a great form. You need to advertise your city. It's the bottom line. At the Municipal League Summer Convention, which I was at Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, talked to some of the mayors down there. I talked to roughly 10 mayors, and I would say 8 of the mayors, they employ lobbyists. Some of the mayors up in the suburbs, they're full-time mayors. They're down in Springfield, and they prefer to do that themselves. I can't do it. I'm not a full-time mayor. I'm not here full-time. They are, so that's what they do. That's what they prefer to do. You know, I'm in Springfield quite often with the IMEA. Every time I'm with the IMEA, I go by Tim's office. We head over to the Capitol when they're in session, and we go see people. You have to put yourself out in front of the people. You have to be a squeaky wheel. It's what it is. I can't help it. You may not like it. You may not understand it, but it's the way it is. So if you have a better idea, when somebody else is sitting in this chair, they can do it a better way. I know that this works. And the projects don't happen overnight, but everything's in the pipeline, and it's happening. So I know that it's best for the city of Peru. I feel that it's best. And there was one town that's represented by Mr. McInerney that I talked to that mayor down at the convention, the summer meetings, and he said, I feel that this is the most important time with the change. And this guy is a heavy-duty Republican, but he said with the change of the governor in Springfield and what's going on right now, I think it's the most important time to have somebody down there being our eyes and ears. It's just, it doesn't benefit me, it benefits the city of Peru, and that's the way I feel about it. So, is there any other comments? Okay, we'll have a roll call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Nay.
Ferrari.
Nay.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Nay.
Sapienza.
Aye.
Payton.
Okay, motion approved. I would ask sometime, come to Springfield with me. Make the tour of the Capitol. You'll see. You know, Alderman Lukosius has been involved. The engineer's been involved. Finance Officer Justin Miller was with us. Come with me, or make an appointment. Go down by yourself. You don't need to be with me, and take the tour. You'll be in front of people that you would never be in front of before. He's able to open doors. That's what it's all about. So, thank you very much. I think that you made a good choice, and motion's approved. Anything further from Finance?
In addition, in the Finance Committee, Treasurer Hiley, you want to just brief the council and some of the investments and the reasons for those?
We've been, is this thing working? I can't tell.
we've been amassing excess liquidity in several funds. And what we did this week, or last week I should say, is take $1 million and invest it in the electric light fund into the reserve position. We took $250,000 in the landfill enterprise fund and put that into a reserve position. $750,000 also came out of the liquid accounts in the general fund, and we put that in reserve position. So we invested $2 million. The city, through all of its funds as of June 30th, was sitting on just a little bit over $29 million in cash. Now, that includes your bond funds and everything else, but we also had excess cash in the general fund of about $2.75 million, and that is, a year ago, it was $450,000. A lot of that excess reserve right now was due to reclassifying SMS leasing funds. That agreement worked out very, very well for the city. But all in all, the city is just doing just phenomenal right now. I don't think since I've been around I've ever seen it this good.
And the excess reserves will also result in higher interest rates, so the return for the city will be much greater than the current funding that we had them in right now. Thank you.
Plus, we're looking towards, we have a callable bond in 17 or 18 with a hydro bond. We're planning on, hopefully, if nothing changes catastrophic, we'll pay that bond off, and that'll be paid off, what, about 10 years early? Something like that. I know it's not right in front of you right now, but we've talked about it before. You know, you're looking at a $5.5 to $6 million payoff.
And that will save significant interest.
That'll save significant interest over what the life of the bond would have been, and we're saving towards that. We will be forced into, at some point in time, a 138 interconnect. That will be in the $8 to $11 million range, lowballing it, possibly up to $15 million range. The work that we're doing right now in the city of Peru, we're doing it all for cash, and we're able to move money around, and we're able to put more money in reserves. The only thing that we haven't done, which we do need to do, is put together an ordinance for our general fund reserve. We've talked about that, and I believe everybody in the finance committee is pretty much agreeable to a 180-day. So you're looking at up to $7 million. That doesn't happen overnight, but what was the number you just said, Treasurer Hyla?
We're sitting with about 2.75 there right now.
Right, and that's what we've done in the last 6 years, basically. But we want to go higher than that. We didn't have a rainy day fund when we came in with the rainy day 6 years ago. It just wasn't there. So. And I know that's what many cities are spending right now, because many cities are operating on a red budget, and they're spending their rainy day fund. We're making a rainy day fund, so it's something to pat yourself on the back. It really is.
And again, the interest or the funds placed for the electric department, the interconnect is a goal of ours, and it has been for some time, but that will save significant dollars on everybody's electric bill once that gets applied, and certainly that amount of 8 to 11 million is something that you can't sneeze at, or something that you don't want to tax the residents for right away. So that's one of the goals that, or one of the planning points that we have in the future.
And we had round one with Ameren 4 years ago, and they came in completely out of line, 100% out of line. They wanted $11 million for us to reconductor their lines, and they wanted $100,000 in perpetuity for the right to use their 138. It was completely out of line. We walked away, but we need to discuss that in the Public Service Committee and to see if we want to go into another engineering agreement with Ameren. It's kind of strange. You'd have to go into an engineering agreement with Ameren for their engineer to look into it, to see if they've changed their mind. You know, since then, they've passed a 17, a 21, and a 14% increase to reconductor their own line, so that's what they're doing right now, so maybe that number's changed, I don't know. But we need to look at that and have some more numbers and move forward, or wait and see a little longer.
I did see where the lobbyist does represent Ameren, so maybe that would be...
That's correct.
Maybe that would be one of the top ideas for that.
That is correct.
As Anything else, committee from finance?
No, just on, well, just to tail on that, with the lobbyist, I'll make sure that I reach out to him and bring that up when he comes.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay. Public Services, Chairman Waldorf is absent. Alderman Lukosius?
Yes, Your Honor. First, I have the electric financial report for the month of June 2015. And during this period, we showed revenues over expenditures in the amount of $1,501,193.14. I'd like to make a motion that we accept this report and place it on file.
Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Mueller, to receive electric finance report and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Next, I have the water financial report for the month of June. And during this period, we showed revenues over expenditures in the amount of $70,368.59. I'd like to make a motion that we accept this report and place it on file.
I have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Sapienza, to receive water financial report and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Your Honor, I have the Peru Recreation Fund cash account summary for the period ending June 30th, 2015. Total funds available are $20,108.17. I'd like to make a motion to receive this report and place it on file.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Alderman Mueller, second by Alderman Lukosius, to receive Peru Recreation report and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Sapienza, second by Alderman Lukosius, to approve signage purchase for a hydroelectric plant for approximately $10,600. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify, well, no, we need a roll call vote. Call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
No.
Ferrari.
Nay.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Nay.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Aye.
Payton.
What's that? Okay, motion denied.
Four to three, no.
Three ayes, 4 nays. Okay, motion not approved.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to seek quotes for the purchase of two 15 kV underground pad mount switches.
I have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Sapienza, to receive quotes for pad mount switches. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Payton.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the purchase of a coupling from Andritz Hydro in the amount of $28,510. This is an emergency hydro repair. We had one go bad. We had one spare. It is now inserted in the unit, and we need one on the shelf. So $28,500.
Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Mueller, to purchase coupling from Andritz Hydro for $28,510. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Payton.
Motion approved.
Your Honor.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Sapienza, second by Alderman Mueller, to award shear tree service for Emerald Ash treatment removal for $79,950. Is there any discussion?
I guess, Your Honor, it's from our information, it's not an elective procedure, it's something that we should and have to do. This is the pricing that the chief has worked with and the committee's reviewed. So it is something we should do.
Any other?
It is very competitive pricing. Did a lot of research with other communities. We're dealing with about 130 trees, give or take, in the city, which is a lot, but it's better than some communities. If we didn't take some action, we might find ourselves in that position. A nearby community has over 900 trees that they're dealing with, so they're dealing with a couple $100,000 a year for several years. We just don't have any expertise, obviously, and we don't have arborists that could do the treatment. So the reason we didn't go out for bid, we wanted to go out for proposals to have the experts do the research. They've inventoried every tree in the city. We have a map. I think it was 70-some were tear downs or 80-some, and then there are some that are treatable that we're hoping to salvage. So.
And I was impressed with their savior rate, so to speak. Their percentage is very good on the trees that they feel can be treated.
Well, and additionally, the longer we wait, the more trees we're gonna end up losing, so if
No
there's
question
any,
about it.
if there's
we
any
don't take
way to
some
salvage
action,
what we have.
it's gonna just continue to multiply, and a few years from now, we'll be sitting here talking about 600-700 trees.
And a good point to note, they have agreed to give estimates to any residents of Peru at no charge, correct?
They will, be happy to go out and confirm that again, Friday, that any resident can call them, they'll come out and give them a free estimate and, match the pricing that they provide on the competitive bid, so that's also attractive. Correct.
Doug,
And I think at a time frame on, during this, they're hoping to start in the fall and be done by spring, so this is.
Correct.
They're gonna get on this right away.
Doug, if we chose not to do this, do we have any issue with liability from the city's perspective?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Because you're on notice. I mean, now you have a report, so I mean, the first thing they do is, in discovery, is get a copy of that report. Frankly, we just settled a case about 3 months ago against a neighboring municipality where a girl was hurt in a fallen limb.
The state of Illinois, the office of the ash borer arborist in Springfield has made visits to municipalities throughout the state. Any community where the ash has been identified has put all of the communities on notice. That's why we, at the committee level, said we better get out and get the proposals. They came in last 6-8 months ago, and that's what really spurred this along. So a lot of communities are on notice, so should be addressing it.
I don't know this guy personally, but he is a registered arborist, yeah, and that's kind of unusual because the expert we used in our case was out of the Chicagoland area. There really aren't as many as you'd think there would be.
He did inform the committee that there are no ash trees in the city that are not infected. Some may not be showing it at this point, but all of them possess the emerald ash borer. So it's just a matter of time. So I think the city's taking the right step here and being as proactive as we can with this.
And then one final thing, there currently is no grant funds available. We've researched that. However, there's the possibility of some grant funds, and Shear Tree Service will write that grant with us and provide their expertise as part of this price too, to try and seek some grant funds.
And just to be clear, the chief, you touched on it, but this only covers the trees that are on city property.
City right-of-way and city property.
So this does not in any way cover private residential, commercial property. That would be cost prohibitive for the city to take that on, and not our responsibility, quite frankly.
I think what the committee also has to start looking at is for everyone we take down, we should put another one in, somehow a fundraiser for getting new trees in the parks.
Part of this grant process, they're gonna help us, work on a program to be Tree City USA type, effort, and that's part of the grant funds too, where you can get eligible for that, so they've offered to work with us on that, so.
Is there any other discussion? Call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Prokosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Aye.
Motion approved.
That's all for, public services, Your Honor.
Okay, any reports from the city attorney?
No, Your Honor.
Any unfinished business? Any new business? Petitions, communications.
I have one communication, Your Honor. This is from Rec Director Linda Cassick, Saturday, September 26th, starting at 8 a.m. The Peru Recreation and YMCA are joining together for Run for a Cure 5K Run Walk Race benefiting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, asking the city to post 2 police officers on the route, one at 5th and Peoria, the other at 14th and Peoria, and other posts will be handled by volunteers, looking for volunteers, and can we please have approval. This is the same course that the Run for the Rec has had. They did not have good support for the Run for the Rec the last couple of years, so that's why they partnered with the Y and picked a worthwhile charity in town to support, and hopefully it'll be a great event.
Okay, we have a motion to receive communication, place on file, and grant permission.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion from Alderman Mueller, second by Alderman Ferrari, to receive the communication, place on file, and grant permission. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Any further communications?
No, Your Honor.
Public comment, do we have any public comment? Does anybody have any public comment to share? No public comment, no closed session. Motion for adjournment,
So moved, Your Honor.
second? Do you have a second?
Your Honor.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Meeting adjourned.